Welcome back, or welcome if you're new to the Secret Life of Ab. And on today's episode, we'll be talking about 3 foods we've been told are healthy that has a lot of evidence to support the contrary. Oh, you're back. Hello. The wonderful world of nutrition, where information is ever changing, diets can be overwhelming, and food science tends to be overshadowed by food trends. Well, I'm here to tell you that outside of what becomes popular via food trends, most information really hasn't changed that much in the holistic space in the last maybe like 10 or 15 years. So yeah, without making you wait any longer, let's get to the first food, which is brown rice. So brown rice, we have been told since we were younger, is healthier for you than white rice. And if you look at it on paper, it really does look like that. Brown rice has a good amount of B vitamins, it has fiber, has iron, has zinc, has some manganese. We're told that it's good for weight loss. We're told that it's good for heart health. And white rice, where the bran and germ have been removed, most of the nutrition has been removed with it. A lot of companies add vitamins back via the fortification process, but if you're heavy in this holistic game, you know that there are reservations when it comes to the fortification process because of the types of vitamins these companies use. A lot of these companies use synthetic vitamins, and research shows they're actually not good for our health and can have an adverse effect, but that's another video for another day. But also the fiber has been removed as well. And for that reason, a lot of people have concerns about weight gain, especially because now that the fiber has been removed, it's going to be a high glycemic index product, which means that it has the potential to spike your blood sugar levels. So there's pros, there are cons, there are pros, there are cons, right? So what's the problem with brown rice? First, let's look at the bran. The bran, for the most part, is indigestible. And the bran is where, again, most of the vitamins are housed. So if it's indigestible, that means that even though all these B vitamins are there, you're not actually absorbing them. Most of this gets passed through and it goes to your stool, which comes out when you defecate. That's the first issue. So even though it says it has a lot of B vitamins, are you absorbing those B vitamins? Then comes in the issue of phytic acid. Phytic acid is an anti-nutrient that impairs the absorption of certain minerals. It's found in grains, legumes, certain nuts and seeds, but it's higher in brown rice than it is in white rice, and that's because the phytic acid is found in the bran, and of course in white rice that's been removed. And I just want to note some of the minerals that it impairs the absorbability of is iron and zinc, which is what brown rice is a good source of. Now, to reduce your phytic acid content, you can soak, sprout, cook. Cooking does reduce phytic acid, but of course, even with cooking, your brown rice is still going to have a higher phytic acid content than your white rice. And so for people who eat a lot of grains, legumes, and seeds, you might want to look at ways to reduce these levels. I did read that a little bit of phytic acid isn't harmful and can actually be somewhat beneficial, but you don't want to overdo it. And last but certainly not least is the issue of arsenic, which is a heavy metal that's naturally found in Earth's crust. But rice loves arsenic. That's why I had to slip. Rice loves arsenic. Rice loves arsenic. And brown rice has about 80% more inorganic arsenic than white rice. That's because arsenic is found on the outer layer of the rice, and that has to be removed to make white rice. So 80% more inorganic arsenic than white rice. For my rice lovers like myself, all hope is not lost. Ways to reduce your arsenic levels. Make sure that no matter what rice you're using, brown or white, you're rinsing it. Some research says rinsing it twice actually works best, or soaking it. Soaking it prior to use, at least a half an hour, really drops those levels. I can't remember the number of how much, but it does reduce it. So soak, rinse. I love brown rice pasta, so it's just so sad for me. Play some sad music. But arsenic is a known carcinogen. It also can increase your risk of respiratory issues. And I can't remember everything, so I'm going to list them right here. If you have a varying diet of grains, that also can reduce your risk of arsenic as well. And then you might want to just cut back on other things that arsenic can be found in. Mushrooms are also high in arsenic, which is one of the reasons I reduced my mushroom intake. I won't get into them. What else? Poultry can have arsenic in it, especially because of the chicken feed, seafood, and there are other things as well. So just Google it, baby. Next up, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, is agave syrup. I remember when agave syrup first came on the scene. I think this is around the time when I first got into holistic health, and maybe like a year later, everyone who was saying that agave is this new superfood that really is going to replace sugar all just started slowly retracting everything that they said, because agave looked promising because it had less glucose than sugar, but the fructose levels are even higher than high fructose corn syrup. Let that sink in for a minute. High fructose levels have been linked to that stubborn belly fat that doesn't go away, but also has been linked to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So agave syrup is just not a health food, and it's also sweeter than sugar. You know, and a lot of people thought it was better than sugar because of the glycemic index thing. Again, I think I might have already said that. This is not me telling you to run to that cabinet or run to the store and get a bag of sugar because, hey, why not? No. Sugar has its own issues. I can make a whole video on that just by itself. And finally, we have, drum roll, whole wheat. Yes. Whole wheat. I'm not going to take too long on this part either because it shares most of the similarities that are already set in brown rice. However, the difference is, so the research that I found on gluten, or the reason why I have beef with gluten signals the release of something called zonulins. Zonulin is a protein that regulates intestinal permeability, aka leaky gut. So in your gut, we have these tight junctions, and this is my example of a tight junction. When this is in a harmonious state, this is great for nutrition optimization, as well as just overall health. Too much zonulin begins to break away those tight junctions. And once they start to separate some, food particles, toxins, bacteria are able to now get through and go into the bloodstream directly, which increases your risk of a host of diseases like autoimmune diseases, which no surprise are on the rise, increases your risk of cancer and other illnesses. So I was going to leave this out of the video, but I feel like it's just too interesting not to mention. I was listening to a podcast where a functional medicine doctor had quoted a study, but I can't remember his name or the study. That's the reason I was going to leave it out. However, just look the information up if you find it interesting. He said that what he read or what he noticed in reference to gluten was, even if you don't have a sensitivity to gluten or an autoimmune condition like celiac or any type of allergy to gluten, there is 100%, not even 99.9%, 100% of some type of leaky gut activity after consuming gluten. So I found that interesting. Also, I'm reading, if you want to know, this book is called Grain Brain, and I don't know if this camera is turned right for you to actually see it, but if you want to look it up, the author's name is David Palmeter. He's an MD. He's a board certified neurologist. He was a fellow of the American College of Nutrition and also one of the founders of the American Integrative Holistic and Functional Medicine. So got credentials. He actually considers gluten a germ, which I thought was funny. He noticed that most people have some type of neurological activity after consuming gluten. So yeah, it gets that deep. I definitely recommend this book, Grain Brain. Check it out. But that's why I'm going to end this. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. Be sure to leave a comment down below indicating what food you want me to talk about next. Also, if you had a reaction to any of the foods or even a positive reaction to any of the foods listed today, make sure that you comment that as well. But I really want y'all to put the foods that you want me to talk about. I'll tell you if my family eats them now currently, if we've ate them and had a reaction to them and nixed them, and or any research that I've come across, because again, this is something I really enjoy doing. So hit that subscribe button because more content will be coming like this soon. Make sure that you like and share, and don't forget to comment. Peace.